All right, so you're thinking about a career as an offshore renewable energy technician. We've got a stack of materials here you sent us, and it looks like you're ready to dive deep into this.
Yeah, it's a hot topic these days. Everyone's talking about renewable energy, but this job, it's not all sunshine and rainbows.
Definitely not. It's got its challenges for sure, long hours, tough conditions, but it could be your future-proof career, or maybe it's just a passing fad.
That's what we're here to find out.
Exactly. So let's jump right in. We've got this RoleCatcher career guide here, and it gives a pretty detailed breakdown.
It does. It's pretty comprehensive.
So first things first, what do these technicians actually DO all day?
Well, you're talking about working on these massive offshore energy farms,
Hmm.
installing them, maintaining them, making sure everything runs smoothly.
Keeping those turbines spinning, right.
Exactly, and making sure they're doing it safely and meeting all the regulations.
So it's not just about knowing how to handle a wrench. You need some serious technical know-how.
Oh, absolutely. You're working on some seriously complex equipment out there. Think wind turbines, tidal stream systems, wave generators.
That's a lot more high-tech than I pictured.
Right. And you're not just fixing them, you're working with engineers, building these things, troubleshooting them.
So it's a real mix of hands-on work and technical problem solving.
Absolutely. And you can't be afraid of a little hard work, that's for sure. This isn't your typical desk job.
Yeah, the guide paints a pretty vivid picture of the work environment. Open ocean, sometimes miles from land.
Oh, yeah, you're going to need your sea legs for this one.
And probably a good rain jacket, too. Rough seas, strong winds.
You got it. We're talking extreme weather conditions.
Right.
This is not for the faint of heart.
Definitely not a job for everyone.
Nope, you need a certain personality type to thrive in that environment. And you're often away from home for long stretches, working long shifts.
Sometimes even missing holidays, it sounds like.
Yeah, it can be tough. You got to be adaptable, resilient.
And have a good sense of humor.
Absolutely. If you can't laugh, you'll cry.
So we've talked about the environment, the challenges, but what about the skills? What does it really take to be an offshore renewable energy technician?
Well, it's more than just being good with your hands.
Right. It's not just about being strong and tough. The guide actually goes into a lot of detail about the skills.
Yeah, and it's easy to assume it's all about brawn, but honestly, you need some serious brain power for this job.
So talk to me about the technical side of things. What kind of knowledge do you need to have?
Well, you've got to have a good grasp of the basics. We're talking electrical systems, mechanical systems, hydraulics.
Okay, so you need a strong foundation in those areas.
Yeah, because remember, you're out there on a wind turbine miles from shore.
And something goes wrong.
Exactly. And you can't just call up the IT department, right? You've
Yeah.
got to figure it out yourself.
You're the IT department.
That's right, you're it. So problem-solving skills are absolutely essential.
Being able to think on your feet.
Exactly. You've got to be able to assess the situation, troubleshoot the problem, come up with a solution.
And sometimes you have to do it all under pressure.
Oh, absolutely, especially when the weather's bad or you're working against the clock.
Right, because a broken turbine means lost energy production.
Exactly. So those critical thinking skills, those are what really set someone apart.
And the guide also mentions soft skills, right? What are we talking about there?
Ah, those are huge. Communication, for example.
Mhm.
That's crucial in this line of work.
Because you're part of a team.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
You're relying on each other out there, especially in those high-pressure situations.
Right. You can't be afraid to ask for help when you need it, or to speak up if you see something's not right.
Absolutely. Being a team player is non-negotiable in this job.
And then there's the whole learning curve. Because this technology, it's constantly evolving.
Yeah, what you learn today might be outdated tomorrow. You got to be willing to keep learning, to adapt.
Embrace the change.
Exactly. Like there's this whole new wave of AI-driven predictive maintenance coming in.
Oh, yeah, I read about that. Using algorithms to predict when something's going to break down.
Exactly. That's the future of this industry. So you got to be ready to jump in and learn those new
And
systems.
stay ahead of the curve.
Exactly. And speaking of staying ahead of the curve, the guide also talks about certifications.
Right, because those can really give you a leg up.
Oh, absolutely. They show potential employers that you're serious, that you've got the skills and the knowledge.
Like a stamp of approval.
Exactly. They mentioned a few key ones, like the Offshore Renewable Energy Technician certification, which is pretty comprehensive.
Okay, so that one covers the broad strokes of the field.
Exactly. And then you've got your standard safety certifications like first aid and CPR, working at heights.
Which makes sense because safety is paramount in that environment.
Oh, absolutely. One wrong move and it could be disastrous.
So those certifications, they're not just about checking a box. They're about Making sure you've got the skills to stay safe and be successful out there.
100%.
Yeah.
And the guide actually goes a step further. It talks about career progression in this field.
So there are actual career paths, like you can climb the ladder in this field.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's not like you're stuck as an entry-level tech forever.
So tell me, what does that progression look like?
Well, you might start out as an entry-level technician, assisting with installations, getting a feel for things.
Learning the ropes.
Exactly. And from there, you could move up to junior technician, where you're taking on more responsibility, maybe doing some troubleshooting.
Where you're starting to lead a little bit.
Exactly. And then, with enough experience, you could become a full-fledged technician, overseeing entire installations, managing projects.
Wow. So there are real leadership opportunities down the line.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And ultimately, you could even become a senior technician, where you're basically overseeing multiple projects, mentoring the newer folks.
Making sure everyone's following those safety regulations.
Exactly. You become the go-to expert, the one everyone relies on.
That's pretty cool. But what about someone who, maybe down the line they decide they want to do something else? Are these skills transferable to other industries?
That's the great thing about this field. The skills you learn, they're in high demand across a lot of different industries.
Because you're not just learning how to fix a wind turbine, you're learning problem solving, you're learning critical thinking.
Exactly. And adaptability, teamwork, communication, all those things are valuable no matter where you go.
Especially under pressure.
Oh, absolutely. The guide actually highlights some related career paths. You've got mechanical engineer, energy engineer.
Oh, wow. So you could even go in a completely different direction.
Exactly. You could even be a hydroelectric plant operator, if you really like working with renewable energy systems.
So it's not just a job, it's a launch pad.
Exactly. And, RoleCatcher, they don't just stop at the career guide. They've got all these other resources.
Yeah, they mentioned those. It's like having a whole career coaching team in your back pocket.
Right. Like they have this database with thousands of interview questions.
Oh, yeah, I read about that. And they're all specific to different careers, right? So you can practice answering questions that are relevant to offshore renewable energy technician roles.
Exactly. And they give you tips on how to answer them, what the interviewers are looking for.
It's like having a cheat sheet for your job interview.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
And they have tools to help you tailor your CV,
Yeah.
make sure it's perfect for each job you apply for.
Because that first impression, that's everything.
It really is. So, if anyone out there is serious about this career path, I highly recommend checking out RoleCatcher's resources.
They can make all the difference.
Absolutely.
Well, on that note, I think we've covered a lot of ground today. We've explored the challenges, the rewards, and the incredible opportunities in the world of offshore renewable energy.
It's an exciting field to be a part of, that's for sure.
It really is. And who knows, maybe in a few years, you'll be the one out there on those wind turbines, building a more sustainable future.
I hope so.
Me too. And to our listeners, thank you for joining us on this deep dive. We hope you found it informative and inspiring. Until next time, keep exploring, keep asking questions, and keep diving deep into the careers that excite you.